สวัสดีค่ะ Thank you for joining us on Newsline. We're broadcasting live on NBT, Radio Thailand FM 88, and on NBT World. It's Thursday, November 20th, and you're with me, Sandra Han Utsaha. Welcome to today's segment of Thailand Moves Forward, and now on to today's headlines. Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha visited Nong Yai Water Resource Conservation Project in Karanuan District of Khon Kaen on his first stop to observe the water situation in the northeastern region. Karanuan District has been affected annually by a shortage of water due to its shallow Nong Yai water source, which is also the main source of raw water for tap water production in 2 districts of Khon Kaen and 2 other districts in nearby provinces. The water source has been left shallow for 20 years, leading to less storing capacity and insufficient water supply. The Prime Minister said his visit had no political motivation, but was only to solve the water shortage. He vowed that the government would establish a coordinated water usage plan and agricultural zoning, which would lead to a better quality of life and higher income for northeastern people. He also requested public cooperation to jointly solve the water shortage problem. After Khon Kaen, Prime Minister Prayut visited the Lam Pao Water Transmission and Maintenance Project in the Central District of Kalasin to observe the water situation before returning to Bangkok. The Prime Minister has urged northeastern provincial governors and related agencies to adequately distribute water to consumers in the area to prevent water shortages. Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha met with 20 governors from the northeastern provinces of Thailand to follow up on government policies, prepare to deal with drought problems, and to heed input from the Damrong Tham centers. The Premier stressed that there must not be a shortage in water and that the provinces had to adequately manage its agricultural zones in order to efficiently distribute water. Furthermore, he urged the governors to prevent next year's flood, which will be a deciding factor in the effectiveness of the local administration. He also tasked all agencies to tackle the problem of fake fertilizers, which would adversely affect impoverished farmers, as well as to ensure the quality of rice that is to be exported in order to gain confidence in the world market. 2 new deputy ministers have been officially appointed to the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives. His Majesty King Bhumibol Adulyadej has issued a royal command endorsing Mr. Wisut Sisupan as the Deputy Minister of Finance and Mr. Amnoy Patise as the Deputy Minister of Agriculture and Cooperatives with immediate effect. Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha commented during his recent visit to Khon Kaen province that he had earlier proposed his nominations of Mr. Wisut and Mr. Amnoy to their respective posts for His Majesty's endorsement. Nonetheless, he remarked that he would evaluate the government's performance at the beginning of next year in order to determine whether more adjustments to the cabinet lineup would be needed. Mr. Wisut is considered a notable figure in the Finance Ministry, as his previous positions included Finance Minister's advisor, Acting Permanent Secretary for Finance, and Director General of the Customs Department. Meanwhile, Mr. Amnoy used to serve as Deputy Prime Minister's advisor and Deputy Finance Minister. President of the National Reform Council, or NRC, Tianchai Kiranan, has given assurance that the arrangement of public forums on the national reform will not be obstructed by the martial law. Mr. Tianchai, in his capacity as NRC President, attended a meeting of the Committee on Public Participation and Hearing, during which he gave a working guideline to the committee members. He pointed out that the special body would be playing the most important role among all the committees as it was set up to specifically gather public opinions. The NRC president said the panel would have to take into account the information acquired in the past and concurrently search for new data while giving the people the opportunity to join in. He also stressed that the national reform process must not stop after 1 year, and a clear framework must be laid down to obligate relevant agencies to carry on with the duty. As for the opinion forums to be organized by the subcommittee, Mr. Tien Chai hinted that they might be held both as academic stages and open public stages. Nonetheless, the question of whether the forums should take place at the regional or provincial level is awaiting further discussion. The Chhat Patana and Palang Chon parties have given their suggestions to the Constitutional Drafting Committee, or CDC, by emphasizing neutrality and justice to prevent further conflicts. The Constitutional Drafting Committee, chaired by Mr. Bawansak Uwano, had invited the representatives of political parties to offer their opinions and suggestions in the drafting of the new constitution. Many of these representatives are from the Chhat Patana and Palang Chon parties. The Chhat Patana party was represented by Wanarat Chanukul, General Thawatchai Samut Sakhon, Chalitrat Jantarubeksa, and Sub-Lieutenant Praphat Limpapan. Meanwhile, the Palang Chon party was represented by Santisak Jarun Ngam Pichet along with his entourage. Mr. Wanarat of the Chhat Patana party said the drafting of the constitution had to be on neutral ground and take into account the culture and values of all in the country in order to avoid political deadlock. He emphasized that the investigation process of corruption cases had to be transparent and equal punishment against those being enforced against those who are guilty. Meanwhile, Mr. Santisak of the Palang Chon party also stressed the need for neutrality and ensuring that the Constitution benefits all groups. He specifically proposed tougher punishments for vote buying and that the electoral system should adopt a one-man, one-vote system, as well as let the House of Representatives be able to draft certain laws without depending on political parties. Deputy Governor of Yala Province, Udon Noi Thaptim, welcomed the European Union or EU delegation led by the EU Ambassador to Thailand, Mr. Jesus Miguel Sanz, at the Provincial Hall in Mueang District. The EU Ambassador informed that his delegation was visiting Patani and Yala from November 18th to 21st to collect first-hand information on the violence situation in the Deep South and to discuss EU support to peaceful solutions with local authorities. Mr. Jesus Miguel Sanz said the visit, which was his first to the region, allowed him and his delegation to study ways of life of the southern people and gain on-the-spot information, which was completely different from news reports supplied in Bangkok. He also indicated the EU's readiness to support the Thai government's solutions to the southern unrest. The Deputy Provincial Governor, meanwhile, expressed his thanks to the EU delegates, saying that Yala people were leading a normal life. However, exaggerated reports in the media about insurgent attacks at some spots have misled and scared away prospective visitors to the region. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has reported that a group of prominent businessmen from Germany have expressed interest in increasing trade and investment in Thailand. Deputy Foreign Minister Don Paramatvinay hosted a luncheon for over 20 German business entrepreneurs who were paying a visit to Thailand. The operators reportedly came from various sectors, including automobile and parts, energy, chemicals, finance, electrical appliances, waste management, and construction. According to Mr. Segwanameti, Director General of the Information Department and spokesman for the Foreign Ministry, more European investors, especially those from Germany, now have confidence in the Thai economy and the potential of the Thai private sector. Moreover, they are setting their eyes on new trade and investment channels in Thailand, while also believing in the country's ability to drive forward the ASEAN economic community. Previously, the visiting business delegates paid a courtesy call on Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha at Government House. During the meeting, the Thai Premier clarified Thailand's political direction as well as economic and investment promotion policies, while the German entrepreneurs affirmed their willingness to boost trade and investment cooperation with the kingdom. The Federation of Thai Industries, or FTI, has joined the SME Bank in an effort to provide financial assistance to SME businesses in Thailand. FTI President Supan Mongkol-Suthi and SME Bank Chairman Salini Wangtan have reportedly signed an agreement in a joint effort to provide loans to SME entrepreneurs. Each eligible loan applicant would receive no higher than 15 million baht, with annual interest rates ranging from 7.5 to 9.5%. The FTI can also recommend struggling businesses to the bank for consideration. The agreement is aimed at simplifying the loan application process, making it more convenient for business owners in the province to access sources of funds. The SME Bank also has a joint investment program for small investors with an investment fund of no more than 5 million baht. Motorcycle taxi drivers caught driving on sidewalks will be fined up to 1,000 baht, according to the Land Traffic Act BE 2522, or 1979 AD. Police Colonel Pusit Wiset Kamin, the Deputy Traffic Police Chief, has revealed that the Metropolitan Police Bureau is taking serious action against motorcycle taxi drivers driving on footpaths. According to him, numerous complaints have been made by the public that these motorcycle taxis have on several occasions accidentally hit and injured pedestrians, and that they have been selfishly taking advantage of the law to bypass traffic. The Metropolitan Police Bureau has therefore organized a campaign entitled Returning Foot Traffic Safety to Pedestrians, under which law officers will monitor crowded sidewalks, particularly areas near the BTS stations, educational institutes, and other crowded areas. Patrol teams will be monitoring crosswalks in those areas 24 hours a day. Members of the public may file complaints against those law-breaking motorcycle taxi drivers by calling the hotline 1197. Again, that is 1197. They should also send to the police photos of these lawbreakers via website at worldwideweb.trafficpolice.go.th. To raise awareness about the dangers of the roads and to commemorate the victims of the road accidents, the United Nations, together with relevant government agencies and private groups, has organized the World Day of Remembrance for Road Traffic Victims, and Ms. Suchani Rungmunporn has a report for us.
According to the World Health Organization Global Status Report on Road Safety 2013, conducted in 182 countries, the death rates due to the road accidents total 124 million per year. This indicates that carnage on the roads is really one of the world's most pressing problems, one that demands much greater public concern than is the case now. We see pictures of the brutal road accident scenes on the media so often that we perceive this kind of incidents to be quite normal. To emphasize the dangers of the road and loss of life from accidents, World Day of Remembrance for Road Traffic Victims is organized. With the urgent need to make people more aware of this crucial importance of road safety, this event is an initiative conceived in 1993 by the victims of road trauma. Its aims were adopted by the United Nations on 26 October 2005. Besides, The event is organized to commemorate those who died or were injured in car crashes, together with their devastated families whose suffering never ends. The event is organized around the globe on the third Sunday of November every year, with the cooperation of relevant government agencies as well as the private sector and civil society organizations. Thailand is ranked third among countries with the highest rates of death due to the road accidents. During 2013 to 2014, road accidents caused the deaths of more than 6,000 people in the country. This continuing disaster is intensifying every year, especially during major festivals. From the aspect of government action to combat this problem, the Department of Disaster Prevention and Mitigation continues to conduct major road safety programs in an effort to decrease the pervasive danger of both speeding cars and racing motorcycles.
First is education. We try to promote and to campaign to the school, to the family, to keep rule and regulation for the road safety. Secondly is enforcement. We are strictly enforcement, especially for the long holiday. Songkran Festival, coming New Year Festival is very important. We have strictly law enforcement, especially for the police. And the third is engineering. We can to improve the load.
Another major cause of tremendous loss of life on the roads in Thailand is drunk driving, even though the relevant law is long established. But to really solve this problem, we cannot rely on the law alone, but we all need to be individually responsible for not driving after consuming alcohol. Isn't it time to tell yourself and your loved ones to be aware of the dangers while driving or using the roads before everything is too late? Suchani Rumanpon, NBT World.
Thank you to Suchani for that report. And Hakodate Mayor Mr. Toshiki Kudo and executives from Japan have paid a visit to the Deputy Director General of the Public Relations Department, or PRD, Mr. Darun Chaison, to discuss cooperation on Thai-Japanese cultural relations and tourism. Mr. Darun welcomed the mayor and along with 14 members of his entourage of 14 members during their visit to Thailand to promote tourism of Hakodate City, which is Hokkaido's port city for trading. The visit aims to tighten ties with the PRD while also discussing cooperation on boosting Thai-Japanese cultural promotion. Apart from the PRD, other related agencies welcoming the mayor include the National Broadcasting Services of Thailand, or NBT, Radio Thailand, and the National News Bureau of Thailand, or NNT. Hakodate is situated on the south of Hokkaido Island and is surrounded by cool weather and beautiful natural scenery. The city is developing towards becoming an economic hub. Hakodate is one of Japan's first international ports that has been chosen as one of Japan's most charming cities, according to a geographical survey of areas in Japan in 2014. Over 30 tourist destinations in Hakodate are featured in Japan's Michelin Green Guide tour book for those interested in visiting Japan. A spectacular nightlife view can also be seen from the top of Hakodate Mountain. Moreover, apart from freshly cooked seafood, the city has been famous for its hot springs that attract over 5 million tourists per year. The Bangkok Metropolitan Administration, or BMA, held the first public hearing on the development of its Grey Line monorail project. Bangkok Governor Mom Ratchawong Sukhumpan Boripat said after opening the public hearing that the discussion focused on the first phase of construction of the 16-kilometer-long monorail line, which covers 15 stations from Wattaraphon area to Rama 9 Bridge. He added similar public hearings would be arranged until the middle of 2015. All opinions would be compiled and sent to the National Environmental Board, who would consider the most appropriate time to begin the construction and estimate the prospects of the service. It is estimated that the Grey Line would service 160,000 passengers per day. The Grey Line monorail project is planned to absorb the rising number of passengers using the underground system and other mass transit systems in Bangkok, such as the Sathorn Ratchapluk Bus Rapid Transit, or BRT, as well as the airport rail link. To improve students' O-Net test performance, the Office of Basic Education Commissioner, OBEC, plans to give out pre-O-Net test sheets to students so they can practice before sitting the real exam. According to Secretary General of OBEC, Gamun Ratklai, his agency has set January 31st to February 1st as the dates for 6th and 9th grade students' O-Net tests and February 7th to 8th for 12th graders. Mr. Gamun said the office would, prior to the tests, give out pre-O-Net test sheets for students to practice, saying that the move would help improve or at least maintain their scores. The OBEC has instructed schools to analyze the examination results in order to devise plans to improve their students' performance, he said. He added that the office is planning to group schools with higher overall O-Net scores together, saying these schools could help OBEC develop a concrete education improvement roadmap later on. And that is the end of today's edition of Thailand Moves Forward. Before we take a quick break, here's a look at the exchange rates and commodity prices.
Maintain a strong nation, Thailand is promoting 12 core values for the good of the people. The fourth core value: seeking direct and indirect knowledge and education.
Faithful Buddhists are invited to donate to the building of a huge Buddha statue known as Praputta Metta. It's to be constructed at Tepratown Temple, Soidao, Jantaburi. With a 20,000 baht donation, the donor's name will be engraved on the foundations of the statue. Those wishing to contribute may make their donations at the Royal Thai Embassy or at the Consulate General in each country, 7-Eleven convenience stores and stores with counter service signs, Krung Thai Bank, Siam Commercial Bank, or Bangkok Bank. Please contact the phone numbers shown for more details.
Hit the beach, see local sight, and soak in the spirit of the 4th Asian Beach Games in Phuket. From the 14th to 23rd of November, be a part of this exciting chart scene. Watch and cheer as the region's top athletes battle to be the best in 26 beach sports and help extend true Thai hospitality to the 4th Asian Beach Games. Hosted by the Ministry of Tourism and Sport.
How could you do that to me? Stop it! Huh? Don't you get it? I don't need you anymore. Enough. We're through. There's someone else in my life.
Say no to the past. Bring your own bag. Say no to plastic.
Welcome back. Jakarta's first minority governor in nearly 50 years was sworn in yesterday amid protests from religious groups and poor people over one of Indonesia's most powerful political jobs. Basuki Tjahajarpurnama, better known by his nickname Ahok, has been acting governor of the Indonesian capital since Joko Widodo stepped aside last month to become the country's president. Ahok took an oath to fulfill his duty as governor with his former partner Widodo at the presidential palace yesterday. Over the last few weeks, hundreds of Islamic hardliners have protested against Ahok's inauguration, underlining the growing religious intolerance in a nation with the world's biggest Muslim population. And that is it for today's edition of Newsline. For any comments or suggestions, please feel free to email them to us at newsline.nbt@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook by simply typing in NNT. And you can check out our website at thainews.prd.go.th/newsing. This evening, the Public Relations Department is inviting members of the public to the last Music in the Garden event at its headquarters in Soy Ari. The entry is free of charge. We're going to say goodbye with some footage of sunflower fields in Pathum Thani province. Have a great day. I'm Sandra Han Utsaha. Sawadee ka.